I am now in Trevelin, a Welsh settlement underneath the Andes mountain range, and I literally just got off the bus here, all the way from Esquel, 20 minutes to get here, and it cost 3,000 pesos, about £1.50, and right in front of me is in the centre. I'm welcomed by tourist information in Spanish and Welsh, and that's the first thing I saw when I got off the bus. It's a Welsh dragon on top of the tourist information office. So I'm going to cross this road and see a bit more of it. So this is a fire-breathing dragon, but unfortunately it only breathes fire on a night time, and I'm not staying here for the night, unfortunately. But look at that. So there's a quick photograph of what it looks like with the fire coming out. If you have been following me, you'll know the history of the Welsh coming to Patagonia, and it was in 1865 when they landed in Puerto Madryn, and then they moved inland all the way through to Gaiman, which was only about not too far, but to come here on the other side of Argentina, underneath mountains, and look at the view. Why? So, Gaiman was a Welsh utopia. They got the Welsh language, they had their Welsh religion, they had their Welshness going on. But it became a bit too good. Fertile land was starting to be used completely by crops, by the sheep. Population started growing, and it just got a bit too busy, that they thought, right, we need to have more land, more farming going on. So they left Gaiman, started moving here. Now, to get from Puerto Madryn to here took me about an 11-hour bus ride. So for them, oh my God, it was a long way. But when they got here, they saw the land. Auntie Jean was quite happy with the view, so they settled here. And when you walk around, and I've only been here for about 10 minutes, there's dragons. Look at the one that's on top of that shop there. So Trevelin translates from Welsh to English as town of mill, because this was well known for its flour. Oh wow, brewery and distillery, Wesley. Wow. Yeah, you're not a dragon, you're a dog. So they still have their Welsh traditions. They have tea houses here. They have the Welsh flag. It's not as well known as Gaiman, but I'm going to have a look around, see how much Welshness is here. As I walk past the dragon, it's actually on top of a cafe. It's drinking a cup of tea, Welsh tea. So originally I was going to be staying here in Trevelin, but there was a bit of a mix-up with hostels, and I ended up going to Esquel instead. And I'm quite happy because Trevelin is quite a small place. Oh, let's have a wander down here. And I think, from what I've read online, there is plenty to do for a day, and I'm only here for a couple of hours, so I think this is perfect just to do a quick walk around. So I've just had a nice little scout around this actual centre, and that is just one big roundabout around the Central Park. And the weather today is beautiful. I mean, I have got my hoodie on, but even I'm thinking it's a bit warm. But I'm not going to take it off because I will feel the cold. So yeah, 20 years after they arrived in Gaiman, that's when they came out here. So there was about 30 guys on horseback trying to find the next Welsh utopia in 1885. And then when they found this place, they got guys to go back to Gaiman and said, we found somewhere that's got better land, it's got beautiful views, let's build a new Welsh place. So that's when they came. Now up here is meant to be the first flour mill. I think that's it there. So obviously when they first arrived there was not a lot here. So as the place grew, it was 1891 that the first flour mill was built. It was by a Welsh settler called John Daniel Evans, and that is as Welsh as you can get. Now according to Google Maps, it's just up here, the first mill, but it just looks like a normal street. I mean, some of these houses are beautiful. And as I turn a corner, I've just seen a glimpse of a Welsh flag, which obviously means it's a flour mill, probably. I think that's it there. Welsh flag, Welsh dragon. Wow. Is that a Welsh costume? Oh, see me reflection. Don't know if you can see it. Wow. Is it open? Got a ticket to come in, 3,000. And there's John Daniel Evans. Yeah, he looks Welsh. So it is 3 floors, and I think it's all about how they survived when they first come here. So it is in Spanish and in English. So I'm gonna have a look around. So I'm just having a walk around, and there is a lot of information, a lot of photographs as well of all the pioneers. But these guys here's Los Rifleiros, and I'm hoping I said that correctly. The riflemen, these were the first bunch of people that came here, and they were mostly Welsh, because there were some Germans and even an American amongst them. And this photograph here, without getting the light shining into it, it's taken in 1943, and these were the last 5 original Welsh guys that came over on the ship from Wales in 1865. Wow! So as I said, it is an old mill. There's just random stuff around like that, which is a gold cart, I think. Medals, trophies. No idea what this is. But I am finding it fascinating. This is where I was. So there was about 4 or 5 flour mills built in the town. And this is all the original stuff. I mean, look at all this. Some of the stuff they've got up here, I mean, it's astounding. I mean, even the original telephone exchange and the telephones up there. Dentistry stuff. And then you've got weapons galore alongside shaving equipment. And even old style skiing equipment. Wow. That was fascinating. I've been there for about an hour just going around all the floors. And I bought one of these. It says a sticker, obviously Welsh Dragon, Trevelin on it. But yeah, if you ever come to Trevelin, that is definitely worth going to. The old flour mill. And just outside the museum is this little plaque here, and it just says the town of Trevelin and the Welsh town of Abertifi, I think that's how you say it. Twin towns sharing history, past, present and future, Argentina and Wales. So you can see they're still trying to keep the Welsh connection. But these houses around here, so beautiful. And another thing I found out about Trevelin is this is a wine region. So with the cooler climate underneath the Andes Mountains that you've got up there, the clean air, pure water, this makes it surprisingly decent for certain wines. Talking like white wines, Pinot Noir mainly. Wow. 5-minute walk away from the museum behind me, and then you come to a bit of a local legend, and this is the Tumba del Malacara, and it's a horse that is buried here. So the local legend says that the horse belonged to John Daniel Evans, so the guy that owned the mill. And back in the 1880s, Evans was actually being chased by some locals. Bit of a conflict going on, and things got very serious, and he was basically in trouble. So his horse jumped off a very steep ravine to escape. Everyone chasing him assumed he was dead, but he survived because of the horse. So the horse literally saved his life. So when the horse eventually died, they buried him. So the grave is him somewhere around here. Right, so I'm a little bit confused. So it says here tourist attraction, and it's got, there's a Welsh flag, the grave of the horse, and then here I've just Google translated it, it's the house of John Evans, or reconstruction of it. But yes, it looks like someone's house. Dog in the background, but the signs are saying come this way. Oh, do you pay to go in? And there's a Malacara. The dog's not moved, so oh wow, peaceful around here. I have no idea where I'm going, but you've got little tree houses there. bending down here. This could be it. Oh, Malacara. I don't know if that's just a memorial because it's just a tree. Oh, there's something else over here. Oh, there's the house. Let's check the house out first. So that sign there is in Welsh and in Spanish. Grandfather's house. It does look like someone actually lives here. So I'm not too sure if I'm allowed to go in or not. Wow. Well, there's a lock on the door so you can't get in. Yeah, I just seen the sign, construction. So quiet. Oh, there's the toilet. Now, because they've got netting on the windows inside, you can't really have a look in. So that was the house of the miller. I'm guessing somewhere around here is the grave of the horse. I mean, there's signs everywhere. Oh, this could be it. And this is it. So that translates as my faithful Malacara died in the winter of 1909, and the grave itself is just here. Wow. Here lies the remains of my horse Malacara, who saved my life during an attack in 1884 when I was returning from the Andes. And at the bottom, R.I.P. John D. Evans. Wow. Local legend. But even now it is so beautiful, calm, peaceful. And I'm the only one here. That was quite interesting. I really enjoyed that. And that's what I quite like about these random places, when you find out quirky stuff. But in 1902, there were problems around here. Argentina and Chile were arguing about this area. Both countries said it belonged to them, and things were starting to get a little bit tense. So they needed someone who was independent. Who did they get? Britain! Britain came along. Oh, that looks like the original fire station. 1976 it's got up there on the sign. Let's have a look. So for this independent review, they sent a guy called Sir Thomas Holditch. Basically, he just went, looks used to, look, start behaving, let's draw a line. So he came to this area and asked the locals and said, who do you want to belong to? Argentina or Chile? And because most of them were all Welsh settlers, they went to Argentina. Basically because Argentina had supported them settling here, gave them land, helped them survive. And the crazy part of all this story is it was the British king at the time, King Edward VII, who formally awarded this land to Argentina. British get involved in everything. So this is a fire station. I mean, it looks like it's still the modern one now. Looks like an original fire truck. And then a little memorial of a fire person reaching someone's hand. Now this might be a bit controversial, but between Gaiman and Trevelin, this is a lot better. I think it looks after its Welsh history a bit more. There's a lot more to see. And then views in the background are stunning. And I know Gaiman is actually the first Welsh settlement here, but I do like this place. Oh, nearly tripped. Fascinating place. So I am next to the park by the tourist information office, and I think I need to start thinking about going. It's nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oops. Oh my god, didn't even see this before. There is a watermill and it's still going. Wow. So this would have been used by the Welsh settlers for power, water power, to turn the mill wheels to grind the grain into flour. Wow. And I got distracted. And I'm now at the bus stop, waiting for the bus to get back to Esquel. And I'm opposite, of course, a red dragon. Now there is so much around here that I've not seen. The river. Never even realised there was a river coming through. Of course there was. That's why they settled here. Yeah, this is probably a 2-day visit, and I've just crammed everything into sort of the last 4 hours. But if you've enjoyed it, then all you got to do is press that like button if you want to see what's happening tomorrow, because I don't know. I might stay in Esquel depending on the weather, because if you've got this, it's worth staying, and there's plenty more to see there. But if the weather's not, then I will be going. So subscribe. Oh, bus is coming. So until then, bye bye for now.